Crossovers are ever more crucial for the mainstream makers, and this one, the CHR, is particularly important for Toyota. A little extreme, isn't it? But then it's supposed to be, aimed at Qashqai class buyers who want to make something of a statement. This car certainly does that.
So, what's it like on the move? Well, if you're expecting the CHR to be little more than a piece of fashionable frippery, some pleasant surprises lie in store. This car's built on the Toyota New Global Architecture platform shared with the latest generation Prius, which initially doesn't sound terribly promising for a crossover that claims to be sporty. Don't be discouraged though, those underpinnings are impressively stiff and they allow for a particularly low centre of gravity that help the engineers in getting around the handling drawbacks that would normally come with this CHR's high-riding stance. Thanks to that and a sophisticated suspension setup, this Toyota tries hard in the turns and it feels more composed and commanding than you would usually expect a car of this kind to be. The prime engine in the lineup, a 1.8 litre petrol-electric hybrid unit, isn't ideal for such enthusiastic driving. The required CVT auto gearbox hampers things quite a lot here, but if you adopt a more relaxed driving style, then reasonably rapid progress is certainly possible. And of course, astonishingly frugal returns are available. 86 grams per kilometre of CO2 and a combined cycle return of nearly 75 mpg on green pump fuel. Now, if you don't absolutely need the hybrid model's frugality, don't ignore the more conventional engine in the lineup. That's the 114 bhp 1.2 litre petrol turbo that's borrowed from the Auris hatch. Here, the CHR becomes lighter, torquier and a little more agile. Plus, buyers get more mechanical options with a choice of manual or auto transmission. If you go for the self-shifter, you can also add in a simple all-wheel drive system at extra cost. Just look at it. I mean, can this really be a model made by Toyota, a brand so notable for forgettably styled family hatchbacks? See a CHR for the first time and it's difficult to know what to look at first, with prominently projecting wheel arches, hidden rear door handles and a floating roof headlining the design flourishes. If you accept that the finished product is part coupe, part hatchback and part crossover, then without doubt it's the SUV element that's most obvious here at the front. The high bonnet framing a slender upper grille and headlights smeared at each corner. In profile, the coupe cues become more obvious with an evident sense of movement even when it's at a standstill, thanks to this dramatic upward crease that rises sharply into these power-packed rear haunches. And behind the wheel, well, it would have been such a disappointment if all that exterior innovation had been matched with an interior design derived from a Yaris or an Auris. Thankfully, as you can see, that is definitely not the case. Instead, we've got diamond-themed door cards, stereo speakers shaped like ninja weapons, an eye-catching deco-line trim strip that runs from side to side in the cabin, and an intricately layered fascia that's topped off by an asymmetrically shaped infotainment screen that's ferociously unconventional and looks like it's crash-landed into the middle of the dash. Almost equally surprising for anyone familiar with typical Toyota interior design is the quality of the materials used here. There are certainly plenty of them. Nappa-grained, soft-touch plastic juxtaposed with piano black lacquers, fake carbon fibre and satin chrome. The men in polo necks have really gone to town. Time to take a seat in the rear, which is where you fear the whole CHR experience might start to unravel. Well, it is what it is. Given the limitations of the stylised shape, though, we reckon the designers have done pretty well here. Although it is true that the cabin space back here is generally more akin to what you get in a crossover with smaller outward dimensions. Finally, let's take a look in the boot. Now here again, the swept-back styling might lead you to worry when it comes to issues of sense and sensibility. So let's see. Now lift the tailgate and there's quite a high loading lip, but once you get beyond it, there's a reasonably shaped, if rather shallow space. 377 litres in size. You get a couple of large suitcases in, but that would be about it. In summary, as you probably gathered, we liked this CHR a lot more than we were expecting to, given that our test team isn't exactly target market for the demographic it represents. Can this really be the same brand that thought that an IQ or a Yaris was the height of fashion and believed crossover buyers would like their dumpy urban cruiser? Forget all that now. A lot has changed at Toyota. And if you doubt that, just go and try one of these.